Radio, everyone, welcome back. More Doki Doki Blue Skies. Now, I'm curious about this one because I wonder if Yuri is going to be the same to me in this version as she was in the original, because the last time I didn't write a single poem for her, and she was really cold to me about it throughout pretty much all of it. And I wonder if she's going to be the same way here. But so far, guys, this series is it's still just very Doki Doki Literature Club remake, but I'm hoping it'll pick up. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot more differences coming into play, so I'm really hoping that it just completely takes off in a way that I'm not seeing coming. All right, so we're going to start with Yuri to see if she continues to remain cold, to see if she starts being cold towards me again.
All right, let me take a look at your piece for today. I must say, Flam, I like this poem a fair bit more than yesterday's. Even this early, your skill is improving remarkably.
Thank you, Yuri. This is what I wanted to hear from you. Really? Thanks, Yuri. That means a lot. I know how much you care about this sort of thing.
It's really no trouble. I know sometimes writing can be a daunting task, so don't be too concerned if things don't always work out. Pushing the boundaries in poetry can be a great thing. Metaphors might seem complicated sometimes, but don't stress them too much. Well, of course, you want to choose images that can capture the message you're trying to get across. I think the first thing that comes to mind are probably the clearest. Even if the metaphor doesn't seem to make sense, it can force your reader to think about something they wouldn't normally. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's a very intimate exchange.
I see. I think I might give that a go with my next poem. Thank you for sharing that with me, Yuri.
Well, if you'd like to see an example of that, I've written something that captures that instance.
Sure, I'd love to take a look. If it's something you've written, I'm sure it'll floor me. Yuri smiles shyly, handing me her poem. Resist. A whimsical, tiny... what is that word? It looks like Cirrus. A whimsical, tiny Cirrus friend sleeps along my amber bookend, dreaming about a sanguine day where what the hell? Mirrored, that's the word. Where mirrored, slender lampposts play. She beckons me, her hand extends. Piercing pupils, reading, rend. Azun, channels bend and twist, cautiously held above the wrists. However, she finds her advances shunned. Always crackling, always stunned, never able to draw the lance. Across my arm she's never danced. Perhaps it would be for the best if I laid her down to rest, whilst I haven't given in to painful pleading from within. I think that it might be smart to save the song of fumbling hearts, lest tears make me dizzily fall and answer her violent call.
I felt a bit guilty after yesterday's argument with Natsuki. I wanted to experiment with my style a bit more. Hopefully it's not too confusing.
Little bit. No, it's fine. Even if it's a bit more involved than yesterday's, I still like it. I'm noticing a lot more symbolism as well. I don't want to assume anything, but the tone of this poem, I'm not sure how to describe it. You and me both, buddy.
Yes. I really wanted to test my abilities in creative expression. I didn't go too far, did I?
No, it's really good. I just don't know if I'm good enough at this to deduce the meaning.
If I had to explain it, I'd say it's about a closely guarded secret. I imagine everyone has a little something like that, something they're forced to keep to themselves for fear of ridicule. It's nice to be able to write about that sort of thing every now and then.
If it's something you enjoy doing, shouldn't you write about it more?
Well, it's not that simple. It's something I'm uncomfortable talking about. I'm not sure people would understand. If anyone were to find out about it...
Well, I guess as long as it's not hurting anyone, people shouldn't pry.
Do you think so? Sorry, I just was thinking of something. It's a good point, though. The best I can do is try to embrace my own weirdness, right? Otherwise, I think I'd hate myself. I'm sorry to keep you so long. Thank you for allowing me to ramble.
Thank you for, sharing your poems with me. Alright, Monica.
Hi again, Flam. I'm trusting that the club's been doing you well.
The same answer as yesterday.
That's nice to hear. So how's the writing going?
Alright, I guess.
Just alright.
No, I guess I should say that it's revolutionized my world and brought color into my previously lifeless, life. Well, I say that, but the club is not the poetry. But the club, if not the poetry, really has made my days more interesting.
Okay. Can't act with the sarcasm, mister. At least you're not hating it, though, right?
Nah, it's been an interesting experience, at least. Gives me a new hobby to do.
I'm happy that you're applying yourself, at least. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece.
I wouldn't count on that.
You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today?
Sure, here you go. I give my poem to Monica.
Alright. I can see that you put some good effort there. Very sincere poem, once again. And very similar to Sayori's poetry. You might still have more in common with her than you think.
Maybe. It's easier to write about from the heart when I'm thinking about nostalgic things. So that might be it.
Writing poetry while wearing rose-tinted glasses, then.
Well, it's not like I do it intentionally. That's just how my brain works.
I mean, even if you did, there's nothing wrong with that. Poetry can be seen as another way to express your inner emotions. A way that you can use when ordinary prose can't quite describe what's in your mind. So writing about how your long-lost childhood friend makes you feel as just as valid as, say, writing about how the human condition is inherently full of conflict.
I'm guessing that's the latter. I'm guessing that the latter is more of a Yuri poem.
You might think that. But actually, a style like Sayori's could still fit that theme just as well.
Really? How do you figure?
Well, first off, have you ever heard of the poet Robert Frost?
I think I have. Probably in an English class somewhere. Never heard of the guy.
I would be surprised if you learned about him in class. He's an incredibly famous American poet, after all. Anyway, it's easy to recognize his poetry since he always used classic meters and tons of monologues and dialogues. He was also pretty fond of themes centering around nature and New England.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't really sound like anything like Sayori's poetry.
No, you're actually right. She doesn't have the lyricism that Frost has, and not too many other themes intersect. I guess the mood of their poetry is what strikes me as similar. Both of them write incredibly sincere and powerful poems, even though they aren't mind-boggling complex or anything. And although their poems may seem to be about one thing at first, with another read-through, you might find that there's actually a deeper meaning behind the words.
That does sound a bit more like Sayori's poetry. Is she really that deep?
Flam, you shouldn't underestimate Sayori. In fact, why don't you ask her for another look at her poetry? Then you'll see what I mean.
Alright. I'll talk to her about it sometime. But in the meantime, you want to show me your poem now? I think it's about time we let your poem shine.
Sure thing, Flam. I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too.
Alright, let's take a look. Pressurized. I float there, in vast hollow emptiness, large but small, grandiose and overwhelming, yet a dust mote. Drifting, meandering, carried along, an endless void. But then I realize. My eyes open, bloodshot, my mouth opens, gasping for breath in this crushing, suppressing, restraining, boundless, everlasting, suffocating vacuum of torment. Atmosphere, Pascal, Tor, screaming with no mouth, stretching, restraining, unrelenting, clawing with no nails, disintegrating, and in a suffocating poem of absence. Oh, this is an epic poem. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? Really? Freeform, too, if that's what you call it.
I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
Oh, I never said that. It's just the kind of thing I never really seen before, I guess. You know, one of these days I'm gonna do a stream or just a video where I just read some poetry, but deliver it in a way that makes it sound grand and epic. Because I've been enjoying that part of this series so far, just reading poetry like it's slam or grand poetry. Yeah, even with Sayori's default poem that ends with "I want breakfast." It's just the kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess. The other girls don't do this stuff nearly as much as you, at least.
Yeah, you could say that they're a bit more traditional when it comes to their structure.
Okay, we lost the connection there for a second. But we're back.
But I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. It fragments everything and leaves a dissonant tone with the reader.
I see. I guess that there's a lot of things you can do with poetry.
Definitely. Poetry is much more an art form. You're meant to craft poems using never-before-seen combinations of words to interpret the world around you.
You really love poetry, huh? Maybe you should write a poem about poetry someday.
That's not a bad idea.
Anyway, it's still hard for me to tell what your poem's about.
Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? Now, we've all had to experience that at this point with the poetry discussions and all. But it can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. If you find other people who enjoy writing though, then sharing becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it will make you want to continue improving.
Yeah, it definitely is more helpful getting real criticism and feedback rather than just empty words. I guess I've really hit the mother lode with the literature club.
That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening.
Bae! Natsuki!
Well, it's not the worst thing I've ever read.
That's the nicest thing she said to me so far.
But yesterday's was definitely better. Then again, I probably would have been pissed if it was as good as yesterday's. Still though, you're new to this, so you're still finding your style.
Yeah, I wanted to try something different today.
Fair enough, but just try to do what you did this time again. It definitely worked better.
Hold on, did I misread that? Fair enough, but just try and do what you did this time again. Definitely worked better. No, I read that right. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Can I see your poem now?
Sure. Here.
The title. Oh, see, this is why we love Natsuki, guys. This is why we love Natsuki. I don't get it. Alright, I don't get why people will hate on good rhymes. They act like it's dumb and a waste of their time. I don't diss their free verse or deep subject types. Be dark all you want, just keep in your gripes. Oh sure, you can tell me if you have a problem. Just keep it constructive and things will be awesome. I'd like you to know that our readers will differ. There is no best style, you smug old glue sniffer. My poems may be simple and often straightforward, but charm can be found in such whimsy and order. Not all poems can be as complex as you'd like. If you think otherwise, you can go take a hike. What about kids or the elderly too? Some read for fun, I guess unlike you. Let us just go and enjoy what is written. You won't like it all, that much is a given. But give things a chance, you might find something nice. Just open your mind and that will suffice. I'm going to start calling people old smug glue sniffers from now on. That's just a top-notch zinger right there. You smug old glue sniffer. I might just make that my new profile name for my Steam account. Smug old glue sniffer.
So what'd you think?
I mean, it's well written at least. I'm not sure how I should confront Natsuki about this. But to say that she still holds a grudge from yesterday would be an understatement. God forbid Yuri sees this poem.
Well, that's a given. But yeah, you could say that I was inspired. It really felt good to pound out these lines. Poetry is an amazing emotional outlet, you know.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I can't wait to show Yuri this poem.
I'm sure you can't. Wait, hold on.
What?
Natsuki, do you really think that showing her this poem is a good idea? You're really going at her throat with this. Don't you think you should work out your issues with her?
Yeah, well, she never tries to see things my way. So why should I?
I think that's the wrong way to go about this. Relationships are a two-way street. Both people have to work to make things right. Why don't you try being the bigger person and just talk to her first?
But I already know that she's not going to try. She's just always so preoccupied with looking complicated and smart. It's clear to me that she doesn't care if anyone can understand her, including me.
You can't understand her if you don't even try. She might speak using a more complex vocabulary, and she may have mannerisms that seem strange to you. But from what I've seen of the both of you, she's more similar to you than you might think.
Eh? That's...
Aren't you judging a book by its cover right now?
Well, whatever.
You can't hold this grudge forever, you know. At least think of Monica and Sayori.
Fine. I won't show Yuri my poem. Are you happy?
I won't be happy until you try to talk to her. She's not going to bite, Natsuki.
Alright, I get it. I'll try to talk to her sometime.
Thanks. You're gonna do the club proud.
Shut it. Man, I have to hide this poem away. I worked really hard on it, you know.
You could easily turn that energy away towards more positive things, though, right?
I guess so. I'm just frustrated that my poem's message missed the mark this time. You should always try to make something people can take a message away from. Remember that. Anyway, I'm gonna write a good one tomorrow, so just you wait.
Alright, Sayori.
Flam? Your poems are seriously amazing. I can't believe you never told me how good a poet you were.
Huh? Sayori, I'm really not that great. You're the only one who likes my poems this much.
Really? You're telling me Yuri and Natsuki didn't love them?
Well, Yuri didn't think it was a bad poem, but she wasn't as positive as you are. I don't think my style really matches hers.
Oh, don't worry about her. She's got a super unique way of writing anyway. What about Natsuki?
Well, I get the impression that Natsuki is the least likely to admit how much she likes something. I don't think it's that, though.
Huh?
I guess I'll be honest with you. I find it easy to write poems when I'm thinking about our memories together.
Eh? Really?
Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? I nervously laughed, noticing the blush that crept up on Sayori's cheeks. I don't know. I feel like this life's kind of boring. Or I feel like my life's kind of boring. Like whatever happens in it is just literally that. Whereas with you, well, whenever I look back on our memories, everything seemed to be such an adventure whenever you were around. Like when we went exploring in that forest near our house ages ago. You made it seem like it was an exciting adventure, kind of like we were both archaeologists or something. Whereas if I went there myself, I just think I was going for a stroll in the forest. I glanced over at Sayori. We're disconnected again. You know, I'm just going to keep going because I'm recording these now as well as streaming, so if I need to, I can always just delete the stream and upload the recorded version. I glance over at Sayori. She has a faraway look on her face, wearing a wistful smile.
Yeah, I remember that. I was convinced there were spooky wood trolls out there. Ah!
That's exactly what I mean. You've got such a vivid imagination. And I guess I can tap into that imagination whenever I'm thinking about you. We have this sort of connection. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And it's still there, even after all these years.
I think I sort of understand what you mean. Can I ask a favor of you, Flam?
What's up?
Can I, keep this poem? This is, the first time you've written something for me.
Sure. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I didn't write it for you. But, okay, you can keep it. I still don't think my poetry skills are anything special.
I can have it? Yay! Thank you!
Anyway, I still need to read yours.
Oh? I totally forgot. It's nowhere near as good as yours, though.
I'm sure I'll like it. Bottles. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's a secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine, all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly, but there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe. And I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in bottles, all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friends feel a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally, all done. I open up, and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf, one after the other, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tiles between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts, in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something, but all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Wow, Sayori. I didn't expect this at all. Did you really write this?
Of course I did. Remember, I said I'd write the best poem ever yesterday. Well, here it is. After all, Monica has taught me a lot. And I've been really in touch with my feelings recently.
So that's what this poem's about. I suppose that much was obvious. Unlike Yuri's or Monica's poems, Sayori's are relatively simple to figure out. So, if I interpreted this correctly, you're basically doing everything you can to keep your friends happy.
Yay! You got it! I really enjoyed writing this one. Just getting your thoughts out onto paper and turning them into a poem. It's like magic.
Well, I think it's amazing. You should be really proud of it.
Thank you, Flam. That means a lot. I didn't think it was that good, though.
Nah, it's great. Seriously. I can't help but notice that the latter half of the poem isn't quite as cheery. In fact, it's somewhat alarming, a very dark contrast from the cheeriness I'm used to with Sayori. Although, maybe I'm looking into this a little too much, but the end of the poem is pretty dark. And you said you've been in touch with your feelings recently, so I'm just checking. Is everything okay?
Of course, silly. I forgot to tell you, I really like writing about bittersweet stuff. Stuff isn't just happy or just sad. A mixture of the two. And this poem shows what I mean. It's just my writing style.
Ah, okay. That makes sense, I guess. Well, either way, I'm glad you're enjoying writing so much. I hope you keep it up. From what we know about Sayori, yeah, something is up with her. Good to have a hobby.
Of course, and hopefully you'll also stick with it. So I look forward to seeing all the poems you write in the future.
Well, no guarantees there, but just from seeing the passion in Sayori's eyes, it's hard to be pessimistic.
Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? Actually, Natsuki and I haven't shared yet.
Uh-oh, I can feel a storm coming on. Yuri hesitantly approaches Natsuki, who isn't meeting her eyes. And considering Natsuki's poem for today, it's no wonder that she doesn't want to share with Yuri. Judging by Monica and Sayori's anxious expressions, they seem to be thinking along the same lines as I am. I can practically see Natsuki's sweating pinballs. Meanwhile, Yuri appears to be blissfully unaware of the situation. I'd convinced Natsuki to reconcile with Yuri, but if she sees Natsuki's poem, well, it's all over.
So, Natsuki, if I may? How about we do this tomorrow instead? I'm not feeling well. It's my time of the month.
I can practically see Monica internally face-palming. Natsuki must have forgotten that the club isn't all girls anymore.
Is that so? I'm sorry. You must feel absolutely terrible if you can't even share your poem today. You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. I could definitely share tomorrow. Well, even if you aren't well enough to share your poem, would you like to see mine? I wrote it thinking of our argument the other day. I suppose that I wanted to show you that I'm more open-minded than I may have appeared. As a way of repenting. I know that it's not much, but hopefully this can contribute to a reconciliation between us. Although we may have our disagreements, I would like to consider you a friend. And friends forgive each other. I'm sorry if that's presumptuous of me to say. No, it's not presumptuous of me to say that. Because I'd like to consider you a friend too. So, you can hand over that poem then.
With a shy smile, Yuri hands the sheet of... Oh. Here, it's not... Alright, sorry about that, guys. My brother was just letting me know that there's a connection issue, and that my stream's not quote streaming anymore. With a shy smile, Yuri hands a sheet of paper in her hands over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads the poem, her eyes widen.
You're writing using rhyme and stuff, like me. You could say that you convinced me to practice adding more lyricism to my poetry.
Natsuki looks like she's speechless for once.
But thanks, Yuri. It's awesome. There's really no need to thank me. Well, I'm really glad that I got to know you. And I'll definitely have something that'll knock your socks off tomorrow. Then I'll be looking forward to that. I do hope that you feel better tomorrow as well, so that you could share your work with me then. Yeah, of course.
That was a crisis and a half avoided. I'm really glad that Natsuki and Yuri worked things out, and it seems that Monika and Sayori feel the same way. It's good to see everyone getting along.
Now that we're all done sharing, though, I have something to discuss with you all. There's a great opportunity for expanding the club that's coming up. Is this about the festival? You could say that. Do we really have to do something? It's only in a few days, so it's not like we'll be able to come up with anything good. Yes, that's something I'm concerned about as well. With such little time left to prepare, I doubt we'll be able to put together anything good enough to attract new members. Yeah, we'll just end up embarrassing ourselves. Oh, don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? Nothing more than a few decorations. I can design some pamphlets to hand out at the event, and Sayori make posters to put up around the school. Okay, that's great and all. But that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to put out a poetry performance. A what? Monika? Everyone's going to choose one poem to recite out loud. It doesn't have to be written by you, as long as you put your heart into the recitation. Although, of course, it'd be great if you could show off your own work. And the cool part is, well, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite their poems too. Yeah, I put a thing on the poster that says "Bring your own poems." It's gonna be so cool.
Sayori pulls a poster out of her bag and holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monika? Don't tell me you started putting those posters up already. Yeah, well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, you didn't even ask us before you started advertising. We never agreed to stand up in front of a bunch of random people and perform our poems. I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys! Yes, let's please calm down and take a moment to think about it. I understand that you two haven't had much experience sharing your poems out loud. In fact, we all haven't done that much. But I still think we should try our best. Look around.
Monika motions to all of us.
We're all here because we have passion for literature in this club. Don't you want to share that passion with other people to inspire them to pursue their inner writing? Yeah! It's all about exploring yourself and trying new things, all while having fun.
Monika and I nod our heads in agreement. Natsuki and Yuri, on the other hand, remain silent. Guess that means it's my turn to say something. I mean, I don't think it's that much to ask. As Monika said, we're all here because we care about the club and want to see it flourish. And if all that means is a 2-minute poetry performance, then I think we can manage. Sayori and Monika's faces light up as I finish speaking.
Hey, it isn't like we don't care about the club. It's just... Do we really have to perform? You know how hard it is to get new members? It's because people are just narrow-minded jerks. They don't even give literature a chance. Who's to say this festival will be any different? I'm inclined to agree with Natsuki. I'm sorry, Monica. I know how much you want to do this, but I just can't imagine performing in front of a crowd of strangers.
Well, at least Yuri and Natsuki have proven they can agree on something. Monica sighs, her eyes close as she rubs her temples.
Look, guys, I know you're anxious. I understand that. I really do. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous myself. After all, it's my club, so people are going to judge me the most if our performance doesn't go well. Natsuki, if it makes you feel any better, a few of my friends will be coming along. They're lovely people. They won't judge you for your tastes. I've known them for a few years. Trust me.
Natsuki huffs, turning away. She doesn't look particularly convinced.
And Yuri, I know it's a scary thought, but I thought of a way to ease you into it. Why don't we start by practicing our poems to each other in the club? No way! Monica, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? But, Monica, there's just gotta be something else we can do!
Yuri nods vigorously at Natsuki's words, anxiously written all over her face.
But guys! No, Sayori, it's okay. If you guys really think we can do better than a poetry performance, then I'd gladly go along with an alternative. So, any ideas?
An awkward silence fills the room. We all glance at each other anxiously before Sayori finally speaks up.
Ooh, we could...
Sayori stops and thinks to herself for a moment.
Wait, no, never mind. That wouldn't work.
Once again, the room falls silent.
Well then, I guess we can't come up with something different after all.
Monica laughs, attempting to ease the tension in the room.
I know you guys might not be the most on board with this idea, but I think it's our best option. Please, guys. Please? Can you stop pressuring us?
I'm honestly surprised Natsuki's putting up such a resistance. I knew she was a little hot-headed, but even still.
I'm not pressuring you, Natsuki.
Both of them have raised their voices. Yuri looks a little startled, and Sayori looks anxious to intervene.
Ah! Guys, please! They're starting to get angry. Can't we just discuss this normally?
Monica reflects on Sayori's words, looking a little ashamed of her outbursts.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice. It's just... this festival is important to me, that's all. Ever since I created this club, I've always wanted to show other people. Natsuki, Yuri, I imagine you were both a little apprehensive when Flam joined, right? After all, he was an unfamiliar face.
She smiles warmly at me. Okay, there.
But look, he's integrating really well. He's made the effort to get to know us and our individual writing styles.
She turns to Yuri.
And Yuri, remember at the start when he asked you for a book recommendation?
Yuri nods and Monica shoots her a knowing smile.
Must have been lovely being able to share a book you're so passionate about with a new person, right? Yes, it was enjoyable discussing it with you, Flam.
Yeah, likewise. It isn't something I normally read, so without you, it would have gone by unnoticed.
See, guys? Maybe we'll find more people who are just as into horror, Yuri. More like-minded people, more like-minded people. Now, come on. Tell me that it isn't an appealing idea. Yes, of course. But really, my biggest issue is with the actual performance aspect of the festival. Well, like I said, I know it's a scary thought, performing in front of a bunch of strangers, but trust me when I say I have full faith in you. All of you. Your poems are amazing, guys. I just know people will love them. It's almost criminal not to show them off. So what do you guys think? So what do you think, guys? For me? For us? Fine. I still don't think it's a good idea, but fine. I'll do it. Just stop guilt-tripping us. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. And you, Yuri?
Yuri nervously glances at each of our expectant faces.
But Monica, what if people start, being inconsiderate and disturb us or laugh?
I'm not surprised Yuri is worried about this.
Oh, don't you worry. If anyone steps out of line, I'll put a swift stop to that.
She has a stern glint in her eye, and I have to repress a shiver. I'm glad she's with us. Yuri looks somewhat relieved, but it's clear she's still worried. She swallows and nods.
I suppose I don't really have a choice, do I?
I shake my head.
Okay, I'll do it. Yay, that's everyone! You're the best, Yuri! This club is seriously going to be the death of me.
It was before.
I know you'll do great, Yuri. Just trust me. But anyway, let's move back into the main event. While we have time, I want each of you to choose a poem of yours to practice reciting in front of each other.
Alright. 1 second, guys. Alright, here we go. And quite like that nice, crisp cup of water. Yuri and Natsuki exchange uneasy glances, but don't say anything.
Don't worry. I'll go first so everyone feels a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now let's see.
Monica flips through her notebook, searching for a specific poem.
Ah, here we go. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly.
Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. Her eyes move across the page in sync with her lips. Every word has a perfect amount of emotion put behind it, making the poem almost come to life. Her inflection is extraordinary. I'm impressed, and judging by a quick glance around me, so is everyone else. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Even Natsuki's once sour attitude is replaced by awe. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles.
That was so good, Monica! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Yep!
Sayori jumps from her chair and takes Monica's place at the front of the room.
This poem is called, how did you do it so easily, Monica? Well, try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. Oh, I think I get it.
Sayori nods to herself.
Anyway, this poem's called My Meadow.
Sayori begins reciting her poem. It seems as if her soft voice is a perfect match. As for the poem itself, it has a similar tone when compared to her other ones. It's peaceful, yet somber at the same time. Bittersweet, you could call it. Hearing the poem in Sayori's voice almost gives it an entirely new meaning. I think this is what Sayori means when she says she likes my poems. It's like seeing a whole new side of someone you thought you knew completely. Sayori finishes and we all applaud.
I did it! Yep, good job.
Sayori beams as she walks back to her seat.
So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki?
Oh, Natsuki, Yuri, and I all look at each other nervously. I open my mouth, but Yuri beats me to the punch.
I'll go. Nice! Thanks for showing initiative, Yuri. Yes.
Yuri rushes over to the podium, clutching a sheet of paper in her hands.
This poem is called...
Yuri freezes as she looks up at us.
You can do it, Yuri! It's called After Image of a Crimson High.
Yuri begins to recite her poem. Her voice is shaky at first, but the more she reads, the more confident she becomes. It's similar to what happens when she gets absorbed in her books. The shy and apprehensive Yuri I'm used to is replaced by a fierce and confident woman. The poem itself is like a maze in its structure, with twists and turns every line. But Yuri is unfazed and enunciates each word with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. Monica is the first to start applauding. Sheepishly, I follow along, and soon the clubroom is filled with the sound of applause. Yuri ducks her head in embarrassment, a shy smile creeping over her face.
Yuri, that was really good. Like I said, you don't have anything to worry about. Thank you for sharing. Thanks.
Guess Yuri's done for the day.
So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki?
Natsuki, Yuri, and I all look at each other nervously. I open my mouth, but Yuri beats me to the punch. The poem itself is like a maze in its structure, with twists and turns every line. But Yuri is unfazed and enunciates each word with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself.
Why should I go before Flam? It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Flam lower everyone's standards before I go. Natsuki.
Malaga hastens to chastise her, shooting me a sympathizing look.
That was kind of rude, don't you think? You should apologize to Flam.
Natsuki's face turns red as the girls all turn to look at her. I decide to spare Natsuki from the embarrassment. Hey, it's really no big deal. I'll end up going at some point anyway. Might as well do it now. Thing is, I don't have much of a selection to choose from. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I take a deep breath. In my head, I repeat to myself the advice Monica gave to Sayori. Try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. Alone. My house is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of being alone. The scene rapidly develops in my head, like I'm recalling a recent memory. I'm sitting alone at my desk. The dim light hanging from the ceiling gives a warmth to the room. In front of me is the poem I had just finished, the ink from my pen still fresh on the page. I pick up the notebook and begin reciting it out loud. While I'm not the most confident in it, I still try to put energy into it. I can almost hear my voice echoing from my bedroom walls. As I finish, the sound of applause pulls me out of my daydream. I'm back in the club room, standing at the podium while the girls politely applaud my performance.
That was good, Flam.
I guess.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. I don't think it's your writing abilities, but rather your lack of confidence that weighs you down. That's something that'll improve over time, though, so don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Alright then. That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah, I'm going.
As she says this, Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium.
The poem is called... It's called... Stop looking at me! But you're presenting. You don't have to stare straight into my soul, though.
She takes a moment to compose herself. Damn it. How can you not help but love her?
Anyway, the poem is called Jump.
Natsuki takes a breath. While her voice is unenthusiastic, the poem has a surprising amount of energy to it. The rhymes tie into each other seamlessly, creating a flow that moves the poem along at a brisk pace. The words seem to bounce up and down, with the rhythm seemingly making the poem come to life. It's Natsuki's signature style, and it works exceptionally well when read out loud. She quickly finishes and huffs as she makes her way back to her seat while we applaud her.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
She stares at the poem blankly for a second before replying.
Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Well... That's what we're going to be doing at the festival, so... Do you at least feel confident enough to do it in front of a crowd? I guess. Not like there's any other choice. And I guess it'll be easier doing it in front of other people. I just put on whatever face I want with strangers. I don't care about what they think of me. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. But I still hate the idea that we have to perform.
She mutters that last sentence under her breath. The others probably didn't even hear it. I knew Natsuki was stubborn, but this is a whole other level. However, it does look like she's going along with the idea of performing for the festival. Well, at least for now, since she's basically outvoted and can't come up with another idea anyway.
Really? That's a surprise. For me, it's the other way around. Having all those people looking at you, judging you. I don't want to think about it. I can relate to that.
Yuri murmurs quietly.
The thought of so many eyes observing your every move all at once.
She trails off, shaking her head.
Well, that's just how it is, so...
Natsuki sighs in frustration.
Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. Speaking of which, I want to thank all of you for performing. It might be difficult, but now that we have a general idea of what it will be like, we'll be able to prepare ourselves. Make sure you pick out a poem and show it to me by tomorrow, okay? I'll need to know so I can make a pamphlet over the weekend.
I should probably find a different poem to recite. I know you'd prefer if we used our own poetry, but I'm probably gonna pick a poem from a poet I like or something.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable, Flam. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting all this effort into the club.
Low expectations, huh?
More like any effort puts in makes me happy in general.
Monica smiles at me and then turns to smile to everyone else.
That goes for everyone here. Thanks for going along with these last-minute plans. Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Let's still try and write poems for tomorrow, okay? I know the festival's coming up, but it's been working out nicely the past few days, and I'd like it to continue. Tomorrow, we'll finalize who's doing what for the festival, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Remember, we have till Monday! It'll be so much fun, I can't wait!
We all stand up, pecking away our things. However, Monica's voice stops us.
Oh, and guys?
She pauses, twirling a strand of her hair in her hand.
This club truly does mean so much to me, and I really appreciate what you're willing to do for it. You guys are the best.
In typical fashion, Natsuki just rolls her eyes. Yuri smiles timidly, while Sayori wears a hearty smile.
Let's just get it... let's just get it over with. I hope we don't regret this. That's okay, Monica. Nothing to thank us for. We really appreciate what you've made for us.
I can't help but catch Yuri muttering under her breath after she says this.
I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, I love it here. Look at this spread, this cozy little place to other people.
Yeah, it's all good, Monica. Alright. I stand up and grab my bag. While I'm certainly not as enthusiastic as Monica or Sayori about the festival, if I can pull that little daydream stunt again, I think I'll be alright. It's for the sake of the club. Not to mention impressing the girls. Once I'm fully packed up, I walk over to Sayori. Ready to go?
Yep. Jeez, don't you ever get tired of always walking home with Flam, Sayori?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, don't mind her. You guys are more adorable than anything.
Alright. No need to make such a big deal about it.
It must be a little nice, though.
Yeah, I guess. Ah, jeez. Let's just go already, Sayori.
Okay.
The two of us begin to walk home. A lot has changed in the past few days. Lost in thought, I don't even notice how quiet Sayori's being until we're almost back home. There's a lot going on in the club now, eh? I'll bet you're thinking about all your new vice president duties that you'll have to deal with when the club grows bigger.
Yeah.
Anything specific on your mind?
Not really. Sorry. Did you want to talk?
I mean, we don't have to if you're thinking about stuff.
No. It's nice talking to you. I was thinking about something from earlier. It's nice that we, never mind. It's nothing.
You're sounding a little like Yuri right now.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I just have a question for you, Flam.
What's up? Sarah clears her throat before speaking.
So, let's just say that one day Yuri asked to walk home with you.
Huh?
What would you do?
What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. Well... I would still walk home with Sayori. Sayori? I'd walk with you, of course. Sayori pauses for a moment.
Eh?
She glances at me from the side before turning away.
But she's so beautiful and smart.
Jeez. Why?
Why me?
Her reply surprises me, and I'm not sure how to answer or what she wants to hear. I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you.
You're so silly, Flam.
She gives me a pained smile.
You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so...
Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Besides, like I said, I've enjoyed catching up with you again. Why would I just change that for another girl? Walking home with you and talking about just anything, it's a great throwback. She doesn't seem as happy as I'd have imagined. I mean, both our childhoods were pleasant. Strange. The conversation trails off. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about. But I want to respect her and keep her happy too. Sayori and I part ways without saying another word. I reach my house and open the door. I'm home. No response. Were you expecting one? I'm alone as usual. I mumble that part to myself. Talking to myself as if I'm the protagonist of a manga or game. I must be going stir crazy. Mom is still out on her business trip. She's never home anymore. I miss her. Well, I don't blame her for anything. It's hard enough providing for yourself, let alone a kid. Since I'm alone, I decided to make an instant meal for dinner. Digging through my cabinets, I find some old soup cups. Miso soup sounds good. I unwrap the packaging, pour in some water, and place the meal in the microwave. While it cooks, my mind wanders back to my performance earlier. That daydream was so vivid, so realistic. Can I really pull out the performance again, but this time in front of a crowd? It wasn't even that great in the first place. Just doing it in front of the girls was nerve-wracking. Guess I'm not really used to being around people again. Maybe that's it. Thinking about it, I guess I've kind of been subconsciously isolating myself from people ever since the divorce. Before it even, in some cases. I wonder when I started shunning myself. Maybe that's part of why Sayori and I drifted apart over the past few years. It wasn't intentional or anything, it just happened. At least, I don't think it was intentional. But I'm glad I got to reconnect with her in the literature club. It's given me something to do, something to look forward to that isn't anime or video games. Talking more with the girls has made me feel more appreciated. It's a nice feeling. Something that's been missing from me ever since the divorce. Maybe that's why Sayori likes walking home with me. It makes her feel appreciated. Sayori. The more I think about it, the more concerned for her I get. She said some pretty weird stuff. But I guess people just have their off days. Maybe she's just changed a little bit more over the years? Pretty normal, right? I'd like to think I'd be able to tell if something was up with her. Although given our recent distance, I'm not so sure. Sure, we started talking again. But there's a lot of lost time. Maybe that'll change and we'll go back to how we used to be? Beep. I hope. Alright, poem time. Marriage. Comfort. Marshmallow. Feather. Clumsy. Peace. Pleasure. Nibble. Yeah, jumpy. Play. Dance. Here we go. Bliss. Anime. Romance. Silly. Family. Boop. Horror. Calm. Infinite. Ba-ba-da-da-ba.
Oh man, I'm the last one here.
Oh, don't worry about it. Everyone's late from time to time. Besides, you've been working hard, so I think you deserve some slack.
I guess so. I'm usually pretty punctual, but I just lost track of the time today. What made you forget the time? It's a funny story, actually. I recently decided to learn how to play the piano, so I was practicing just now. That's probably why I didn't notice the school bell going off. You can play the piano? That's quite impressive. I've always wanted to play an instrument myself. It's not as cool as you make it out to be. I've only been playing for a little while, so I still got a ways to go before I'm any good. You should pick up an instrument too, Yuri. I could definitely see us playing the violin. I could definitely see you playing the violin.
Yeah, that pretty much suits Yuri perfectly.
The violin is a beautiful instrument. I'm partial to the sound of the flute as well. Flutes can be calm and elegant, just like you. Thank you.
How's it like to play the piano?
It's really an enjoyable instrument to play. Not to mention, I really love how it sounds. One moment it can sound gentle and soothing, the next powerful and full of force.
The piano's an instrument that I'm familiar with too. Well, at least somewhat. My father had signed me up for piano lessons when I was younger. He'd been playing it since high school and wanted to pass his passion down to me, but I never really got into it. Considering that, you'd think that I would hate the piano. But for some reason, I find myself internally cheering on Monica. Maybe because it reminds me of my father, in a way.
Monica, you certainly are a talented individual. First starting your own club from the ground up and now picking up a piano on a whim. I doubt I'd be able to do that. Oh, don't say that. Anyone can do amazing things as long as they have a passion for it. Which is why I think we're all going to do amazing at the festival. I can't wait for the festival. It's gonna be awesome. Natsuki, weren't you just protesting the festival yesterday? Well, obviously, I meant everything besides our part of the festival. I still don't like the idea of performing.
Monica rolls her eyes. I don't want to start this whole debate over again either.
But I am looking forward to everything else. It's a whole day at school where you can just run around and eat till you burst.
I can see the eagerness in Natsuki's eyes. She must really like food. Kinda reminds me of a certain someone. Speaking of which, where is Sayori? Oh, there you are. Sayori sitting at a desk in the back of the room staring out the window. Guys, not this again. I walk over to her. As I do, I hear the girls continue to converse behind me. Something about squid. Hey, Sayori. I wave my hand in front of her face. You're spacing out again.
Sorry. Don't mind me. You can go and you can go talk to everyone else.
Huh? Are you okay? She forces a smile. It's not very convincing.
Of course I am, silly. Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. You just seem a bit off today. Maybe I'm wrong, but my mind wanders back to what she asked me as we were walking home together.
You worry too much, Lamb. I'm fine. Seriously.
She shows me another smile, much bigger and more genuine. While it seems much more Sayori-like, there's still something inside me that feels like something's up. Is this a hero moment? I feel like a hero moment's coming. Sayori must have noticed as she hastens to explain.
To tell you the truth, I just didn't get much sleep last night. I'm really tired, so sorry if I'm a little cranky. Seriously though, I'm probably not much fun to hang around with right now. Why don't you spend some time with the others? I might try and have a little nap.
Sure, okay. Just, know if anything's bothering you, you can talk to me, okay? I hate to see your suffering in silence. She nods.
Suffering might be a little strong of a word.
Oh well, you know what I mean. Sayori nods again, then shoos me away. As I wander off to talk to Monica, that feeling of uneasiness isn't going away. Maybe that's just how Sayori is these days. I mean, it's been a good few years since we probably hung out together. Maybe she's changed. Deep down, I know that isn't the reason. Still, maybe Monica knows more than I do. After all, she's the president, right? I timidly approach her. She's shuffling through some papers at her desk.
Flam, what's up?
I decided to just jump right in. There's no point beating around the bush. Hey, so, have you noticed anything wrong with Sayori recently?
Wrong? What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just she seems a little downcast today. So do you have any idea why she might be feeling off? Like, have you seen her act this way before?
No, I can't say I've ever seen her like this before.
Yeah, she said she's just feeling tired because she didn't get much sleep. But to be honest, I'm not buying it. She's normally upbeat and cheerful. Her behavior has been so uncharacteristic. Monica appears across the room at Sayori, who is idly dragging a rubber eraser up and down her desk. Wait, didn't she say she was going to try to take a nap?
Maybe there is something on her mind. My question though is why are you asking me, Flam? You've certainly known her longer than I have.
Yeah, well, you spent more time around her recently than I have, with the club and all.
I guess so. But I've never seen her
dismiss me. Maybe she didn't exactly dismiss me, but it felt like she just wanted me gone. Sorry, I'm just concerned for her, you know? I just wanted to ask if you knew anything, that's all.
No. I appreciate you coming to me. It's really sweet how concerned you are for her. After all, it's important to me too. I mean, I'm also friends with her. And I also care about her well-being of my club members, you know? Maybe I'll try talking to her myself.
Yeah? Are you sure that's a good idea? She seems like she wanted to be left alone.
Are you sure? I know you've known Sayori for longer than I have, so perhaps you're right. Still, it's worth a try. I also have to talk to her about what she wants to do for the festival anyway.
Oh, alright. Fair enough then. I just hope she's more receptive to you than she was with me. Monica pauses, studying my worried facial expression. The warmth of her smile reflects in her eyes.
You really care about her, don't you? From what I can gather, you've been friends for a while.
Yeah, we've been childhood friends for as long as I can remember. Although before I joined the club, we had been drifting a lot. I hate thinking that she's been like this before without me around to help her.
Hey, I know it's hard, Flam. It's never easy seeing a friend suffer. But for what it's worth, she's lucky to have someone so thoughtful looking out for her. Don't blame yourself for it. You can't always be there for everyone.
I know she's right, but the feeling of guilt still resides. Yeah, I guess.
Hey, she's been a lot happier since you joined the club, you know.
Huh? Really?
Yep. She told me she was kind of surprised at first, and she didn't expect you to want to join. But once she got over that, she enjoyed having you around. Anyway, I know it's hard seeing her like this. I'll talk to her and see what I can do, okay? She'll be fine. Don't you worry.
Remember what happened the last time I left it in your, quote, capable hands, Monica? I sure hope so. Let's just hope you're right, Monica. Thank you for everything, by the way. You've been a big help.
You're too kind, Flam. Nothing to thank me for.
She stands up from her desk and walks across the room to where Sayori is sitting. I watch her kneel down next to Sayori and gently talk to her. But she's keeping her voice so quiet. I sigh and sit myself down. I know Sayori told me not to worry about her and to have fun with everyone else. But that's impossible to do when she's behaving like this. But there's nothing I can do besides wait for Monica to talk to her.
Okay, everyone.
After some time passes, Monica calls out to the club room.
Why don't we share our poems now?
Before I know it, everything is back to normal. Everyone goes to retrieve their poems, and I do the same. I make eye contact with Monica, and she smiles reassuringly at me. I wonder what she was talking about with Sayori. Okay. God, I don't like this, guys. It's all just shaping up to be just another letdown moment. But yeah, let me. Yeah, you know what? I'm just. Alright, I'm going to record the next one. I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to end this stream now. I'm going to record the next episode right now because I want to know if everything is just leading up to another heartbreaking Sayori death. Because I really don't want that to happen again. So, you know, leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Or maybe not, because I'll be recording and uploading it. So, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.